We are probably the only country where something like the ABDM dashboard is a live dashboard for the whole country. Where are people accessing healthcare from, right? I don't know if we have enough avenues for pure technology at play in healthcare to kind of solve something, possibly acquiring, engaging, understanding nuances. But I think the ultimate delivery of that healthcare service has to happen in a physical format, right?
Hi, it's a pleasure for me to welcome Rohit. Rohit has been co-founder and founder director at Cloudnine Hospital. Currently, he runs PeerCapital, a technology venture capital fund. Rohit has been part of the startup ecosystem for many years, having been an investor, supporter, mentor to startups. He has won many awards, including Economic Times 40 Under 40 award, and has been instrumental in guiding entrepreneurs and their startups. Welcome, Rohit.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Rohit, I want to start by asking you a question. You have been an operator, founder of specialty Cloudnine Hospital. Now you have become a venture capitalist. So what made you the transition and how has this change been?
Oh, well, actually, it's quite a journey. Way back when we wanted to scale Cloudnine, I'm dating back to about 2010. Never had the opportunity to even go around and ask a few people of, how things need to be in terms of how do you scale, what's the right sort of conversation to have. I sort of actually made it a fuss in my mind to say that I'm going to try and do something about this, not knowing when, how, what, way, and all of that, and I parked that. In 2013, I was able to start a small incubator within Cloudnine, have a lot of product companies come and build with me, work closely with them, understand their product journeys and so on. 2015, put together a small family fund and started investing in those opportunities and also expanded my founder network. 2017, I started working closely with a few funds that were coming up in the country then. So got enamored by the whole decision making of how investments happen. 2019, I had the opportunity to become a scout for Sequoia. So I was amongst 20 odd people who could write a check on behalf of Sequoia. So that was again a fun experience. And with all of this in 22, when we decided at Cloudnine that we're going to try and take the company public, I saw this as an opportunity for me to move away from my operating role on my day-to-day ops role to focus my energies on bringing together, early stage equity fund by the name of PeerCapital, along with a couple of amazing partners where I get to be the founder operator. They both come with some amazing experience across VC, across diverse startup sort of lifetime of journey. It's been a great transition for me to actually be from an operator to try and understand if I can put larger capital at play.
So you literally grew into it in step by step in a gradual fashion.
Yeah.
So since you have seen the investing side and you have been in the healthcare side, one of the questions that people always ask is, typical health tech, medtech space has not seen the scalability normally you see in venture funded technology companies. What are your thoughts on health tech or healthcare sector as a potential scalable venture capital play?
I think across things like macro tailwinds, utilization, consumerization, on the entire aspirational aspect of how our country as a whole is kind of improving. I don't know if we have enough avenues for pure technology at play in healthcare to kind of solve something. It has to be a combination of both is what I feel. Possibly acquiring, engaging, understanding nuances. A lot of those aspects can happen digitally. But I think the ultimate delivery of that healthcare service has to happen in a physical format, right? My view today would be that, if anyone's building, think of omni-channel, think of how you can have the ability to sort of stay engaged with the customer throughout that sort of life cycle. And I think that's where a lot of influence can be had, right?
So literally you're saying that it's really the opportunities using technology more as a tool rather than a full tech disruption.
No,
I'm talking like fintech, for example. If you see digital payments, you have had full disruption, right? The Paytm and PhonePe of the world. Unlikely to happen in healthcare, is that what you're saying?
No, it will possibly happen, but far and few in between is what I meant, right? It will probably, one also has to think about, what is the venture landscape? There is something about timeline, there is something about exitability. I don't know if we are in a position enough to say that within our limited sort of horizon, is there enough opportunity to come in, make a grand sort of scale and then be able to exit, right? Unlike other tech opportunities, right? I think healthcare is still kind of burgeoning into something like that. But look, if you are going to go and disrupt something in the US, a pure technology play, absolutely possible. But you need to know how to sell in the US. If there is something which you are trying to provide from a cost first point of view, efficiency point of view, on a full stack technology scale, right? A lot of those things is a great opportunity in a developed market. But medtech is a separate thing, right? Medical equipment. Yeah. If people have been able to create an IP of their own, which is like, world standard or even beating world standard, why not? For anyone who's looking to build now, there is the FDA equivalent, which is called the CDSCO, where you actually have to go through a fairly rigorous process to understand what that means, right? So till now, we didn't even have a regulator in this, right? It just used to be the CE mark, which was, it wasn't
expensive and it's Europe. Yeah.
So it also wasn't indicative of something very unique, right? So now you have a lot of this. These are great signs in our country to actually come and start talking about quality first. I have the pleasure of serving on the board of a company called Mall Biodiagnostics, which are in the point of care devices. Fantastic
Indian company?
Indian company. It's taken them 20 years to get where they are.
Wow.
Right? So it's amazing.
Wow.
They're a fantastic company. Please look them up. They have a beautiful platform where they actually encourage a lot of other startups to come and work with them.
What is the role of the government? Because in India, you have huge challenges in healthcare. While we'll talk about venture-funded companies, the real work for the masses, rural population, for solving the healthcare challenge has to come from government playing a very strong role. So, would love to hear your thoughts on how government should support, operate, perform, and also what do you think of the Ayushman Bharat initiatives? What are your thoughts?
I think it's actually a great place to be if you are monitoring what the government initiatives are towards, what is driving towards healthcare outcomes. I think it's a fantastic place. It's probably not been as fast as, what the Aadhaar movement happened and all of that, simply because the regulation is a bit weak.
Plus, there is on-ground work to be done.
There is
KYC.
There is, but in let's say a financial sort of sector, regulation was always very high, right? So you were already stepping up on a set of guardrails which were there. In healthcare, we're still kind of getting into that nuance, right? So it will probably take longer. But what was not there before is transparency, the promise of volume. Like, we are probably the only country where something like the ABDM dashboard is a live dashboard for the whole country. You will not be able to find it in any other country in the world. Where are people accessing healthcare from, right? So that means for someone grounds up building a full stack, let's say healthcare opportunity, forget cost structures of today. Someone who's trying to make do on what is existing and trying to work with, let's say, an Ayushman Bharat sort of scheme, possibly may not like it, right, because of the cost structures. If you are able to think that, hey, here's a volume, here's the price, can I build something absolutely from scratch? Yes, right, and that's what is available today. So I would say that I think it's a great opportunity in terms of where we are. I think they've also made it absolutely clear in terms of, where is large amount of capital going to get deployed, which is, if it is Ayushman Bharat, then the direction of saying that, hey, I am going to be the biggest insurer is very clear. While they will continue to fight on infectious diseases, strengthen up AIMS and all of that, right? But I think the larger objective is to say that I will be an enabler and possibly not be an operator, right?
So transparency, promise of volumes, and many of the enabling digital infrastructure to be able to bring together promises optimistic outlook for the future.
Absolutely.
Rohit, thanks a lot for coming and speaking with us. It's a pleasure. So that was Rohit M A, co-founder at Cloudnine Hospital and managing partner PeerCapital, talking to us about healthcare.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you.